We're taking a look at public affairs right now. This is Focus on Issues on KFRN 1280 AM. My name is Suong Tran. Today's focus is on deterring youths from crime. Our guest is Carolyn Bell. She's the executive director of the Long Beach Shortstop Program. Carolyn, thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Well, why don't you start us off by telling us what the Shortstop Program is?
Okay. The Shortstop Program is a juvenile crime diversion program for first-time juvenile offenders. And we are the foundation of the Long Beach Bar Association. So we're the Long Beach Bar Foundation, but we run a program called Shortstop. And we've been in existence for over 20 years. And what we do is for juveniles between the ages of 10 and 17, when they get their first citation, they're referred to our program. The goal is to get them on their first citation before they become hardened criminals or before they actually enter into the juvenile justice system.
Yes.
And so once we receive the citation, we contact them and tell them that we are a community-based program that the child has been referred to.
So the program deters first-time offenders, and you work with youths as young as 10 years old, huh?
As young as 10 years old, and you'd be surprised that marijuana, truancy, shoplifting, and things like that are already happening at the age of 10.
Are the youths mainly from Long Beach?
The program was originally designed to get referrals primarily from Long Beach, but since we're the only one in Los Angeles County, we get a little bit from all over. But I would say, yes, primarily from Long Beach. That's our main goal.
Okay. So the goal is to reach them early and to help them turn their life around and to see that crime doesn't pay and that there are consequences for their actions.
Right. And the earlier we teach them that, the better. You know, a lot of times there's parents or the kids will think, well, it was just this one time, it was just this one thing. But when they realize that it could take only one mistake to, affect them for the rest of their lives, it could, determine what college they could go to or, what kind of employment they could get in the future. So the decisions that they make at this age is very important.
Yes, I know the teenage years can be very difficult, and sometimes good kids just run with the wrong crowd. So
Absolutely.
They just need a quick wake-up call.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell us how the Shortstop program works.
Okay. Well, I think what's interesting about it is that it's taught at the Long Beach Courthouse, which is now the George Duke Machen Courthouse. And it's taught by volunteer attorneys, law enforcement, Coast Guards. We have a few principals of schools, and the goal is to get them to realize that it's important not to break the law on any scale if they will see that as being important early. So the first night they attend 2 sessions, and the parents are required to attend because we realize it's a parent participation program and we need the family involved in order to make a bigger impact. So the parents are required to come. The parents sit in the audience. The young people sit in the jury box. The first night they get there, they're stripped of their possessions. They're suited in an orange jumpsuit. They're given a number for the evening. Their property is taken, and they sit in the jury box. And so the instructors will call them up one by one. Now, before they even arrive there, we do a complete intake. We find out if they're having issues in school, at home, if parents are concerned about possible drug use, them hanging out with the wrong crowd. So we get a complete picture. And so when we get there, the attorneys have files on each client, and they call them up individually, and they get them talking about it. So the attorney will call them up by the number and ask them why are they here. And so the child will mention that they're here for such and such, and then the attorney will go over the legal consequences and also talk with them about the importance of school and whatever other discourse may be happening within the family dynamic. So we try and cover as much of it as possible. So they're standing up that night talking about it amongst their peers. They're sharing their stories and hearing the stories of the other young people that are there at the time as well as the instructors asking the parents questions that relate to some of the questioning that he's asking of the client. They also get a taste of what it's like to be in the holding cell. So they go downstairs to the holding cell and they hear stories of former inmates that have been in the system and started on the same path that these kids are starting on, and they get to hear their stories and the struggles that they have in becoming contributing members to society, getting employment and maintaining employment and starting a family and maintaining a family. And the parents sit in the holding cell with them. It's kind of an emotional night because the parents tear up knowing that their kid could possibly end up in the system, and the young people get to see the parents' emotion as they're sitting there talking to the former inmates. And so the inmates may address them and talk with them specifically and remind them about what the system is like and how you don't want to end up in the system and what the food is like and the showers and the sleeping arrangements and just how tough of a struggle it is for them, and that they will be required to go to school and do some of the very things that they don't want to do, that they protest against at home with their parents. So that's the first night. Then they're also given a set of homework assignments that they have to complete, as well as the parents. They have to complement each other, eat meals together. After that, they come back 2 weeks later with the homework assignments completed, and that's our positive reinforcement night, where the instructor looks over the homework assignments, and they have them get up and talk about it. The parents also share their assignments. The parents write a eulogy about their child. It's a positive eulogy. And for the kids to hear the parents' sentiments about them, and just the comparison is really unique, and it's usually kind of an emotional night. And they also compliment each other out loud, and you'll be surprised how many young people don't compliment their parents and how many parents don't regularly compliment their child. So the second night is all about seeing the growth, sharing the homework assignments, complimenting each other, and graduating from the program.
Okay, so it's a 2-night program?
2-night, 3-hour program, and we require the parents to participate and to attend both nights.
Okay. And I can see how emotional parents can be over this, but how are the youths? Do they put up a tough, I don't care attitude, or do you see that the message is getting through?
We get a little bit of both, and I think it's primarily when they're tough based on them being intimidated or afraid. And so a lot of times when they're afraid, they put up a wall to make them appear tough. But once they find out that we're there to help, not so much to condemn them, but to say, hey, this is what could happen, they usually come around. So we do have some really tough ones that come in. They don't want to be there. They're like, I don't want to be here. And then some of them, they may even have more control over the parent than we like, and they might say, I'm leaving. I do not want to be here, and let's go. And sometimes the parents will comply.
Oh.
We'll try and save them as much as we can. Usually that's when I step in and we pull them to the side and talk with them. But we don't win them all. Some of them just really can't take the challenge. They don't want to do it. So we get those, and then we get those that are scared enough to try it, and they want to see what it's like, and they want to learn from the process. So most of them are kind of intimidated and afraid of the process, but those where the parents have control and those young people that want to make a change, they tend to stay and, comply.
Uh-huh. So, Carolyn, are we allowed to sit in on these court sessions and maybe bring a teen along with us?
Absolutely. I attend program, and I easily float around to each department, especially for guests and parents that might want to come and observe and see if this would be an appropriate program for them. But absolutely, they would just call me or just call the office. Do you want the phone number?
Oh, yes, yes.
So the number to call would be 562-981-7525. We are a year-round program. We start in January all the way through December. We offer 2 programs a night, and we run 3 consecutive departments a night. So we have plenty of room, and we service, just last year, we served over 700 youth and families.
Can you talk about your success rate?
The success rate is about 80%, and we measure out 12 months. So most of the kids who complete the program will not reoffend within 12 months, and we follow up with a letter as well as a phone call.
Carolyn, we don't have a whole lot of time left, but I want to go back to something that you said earlier in the program. I think you said something like some parents are surprised that a small, simple infraction could, be so serious.
Right.
So can you talk about the consequences of something that seems harmless, like shoplifting? What happens when a teen is caught shoplifting?
Well, one of the things that a lot of the kids don't remember is that when you're shoplifting, your picture is put up in the store, and you're no longer allowed to go to that store. So imagine at age 12 you shoplift from Target, and then you can never shop at Target again because they have your picture. And then they also do, I forget what it's called exactly, but if you're in a mall and you shoplift, not only is your photo there and a record of who you are at that particular location, there's a radius, so there's kind of a surrounding area that's familiar with who you are, and if they catch you in the store, then there's a consequence for that. And then some of the other consequences, we have young people that have big dreams that might want to be a doctor, but they're bringing their prescribed medications to school and they're selling them, or they're purchasing drugs or marijuana, and those kinds of things on your record could prevent you from, passing the test to be a doctor. Or, if it goes on your record that you've sold marijuana or you're a marijuana user, it could prevent you from getting scholarships to college. So a lot of the things that they think are just okay things to do can have consequences that affect them, in getting into college and choosing the career that they might want, or getting a government job. We had a kid in our program this past Tuesday that didn't want to go to summer school, and he tweeted that he was going to just go and shoot up the school.
Oh.
Well, FBI found out about it. They found him at a park, and they arrested him and brought him to the program. Now, Mom says he's a good kid. He didn't mean it. But that's something that could be on his record that can follow him for the rest of his life. He made a terrorist threat innocently, thinking,
Yes.
He would just tweet it to his friends. So those are the kinds of things that we want young people to realize, that it's real and there's real consequences to the decisions that they're making today.
Okay. Well, I would love to talk to you a little bit more about the program. I know you've got a scavenger hunt taking place today, so let's spend some time talking about that.
Scavenger hunt is Saturday, and the starting point is at Bono's Pizzeria on Ocean, and it's from 11 to 1. And the goal of that is to establish camaraderie between teams and groups that maybe work together, or that just family where they wanted to get together and have fun. And so they go through the community with clues that we give them, and the team that gets the most clues win prizes, and then they get exposed to the local establishment in the area. And the Downtown Long Beach Business Association has been one of our main sponsors to help us promote the event. So that's awesome, and this is our second annual.
Oh, good. So can we just show up at Bono's Pizza?
Absolutely. We are still taking teams all the way up until 11 o'clock Saturday morning.
Okay, up until 11 o'clock today. So depending on when you hear our program, you might be able to stop by and support the Long Beach Shortstop program. Where is the pizzeria?
It's on Ocean. I believe the address is 250 West Ocean Boulevard, right across from the old courthouse.
Okay.
Ocean.
And let's give out some contact information for the Long Beach Shortstop.
Okay, so you definitely can call us at 562-981-7525. That's our main number. You can also visit us on the web at www.4lbbf, the number 4lbbf. And we also have some other exciting fundraisings coming up. September 5th is our golf tournament. September 20th is our tennis tournament. So you'll see that on the website as well.
Great. Okay. And the website address again is
www.4lbbf.org.
lbbf.org.
Yes.
Okay. And your phone number is 562-981-7525.
Yes.
Okay. We've been speaking with Carolyn Bell. She's the Executive Director of the Long Beach Shortstop Program. Carolyn, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I enjoyed talking with you.
You've been listening to Focus on Issues. The opinions and views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of this station or management. This program is presented as a public service of KFRN 1280 AM.
love.